Hello, good day to everybody. Um, Today we're going to start lesson on Microsoft Excel. Yes, we are not done with the Microsoft Word, but I think because of the schedule, the time frame we have left, we need to take advantage of that and then try to do the Excel, and then later we will come back to Microsoft Word. Now, so what is Excel? Why do we need Excel? What is Excel and why do we need Excel? Excel, Microsoft Excel is kind of a spreadsheet program that is used to record and then analyze numerical data. When I say numerical data, it could be one, two, three, and yeah. And then this is how to perceive or to think of a spreadsheet as it's more or less like a collection of columns and rows. You see, so we have columns and rows that comes together to form a table. So that is the best idea you could get for a spreadsheet. You know, we always have alphabetical letters trying to identify the columns, and then we have numbers trying to identify the rows. So it is a combination of a column and a row meeting together to form what we call a cell. So somebody might ask, why should you learn Microsoft Excel? You know, in our daily lives, we deal with numbers in one way or the other. And that is to talk of daily expenses, how we pay for monthly utilities, and how we make incomes, our earnings. So for that reason, we need to know exactly how much we spend in that sense, know how we can spend wisely. So this is more reason why Microsoft Excel comes in handy. So whenever we want to record and analyze and then store such numerical data in our daily expenses. So that is the more reason why we need Microsoft Excel. So let's move on. Now let's open Microsoft Excel, then start some activities. You can see from here that with Microsoft Excel, we have blank workbook. But when we were using Microsoft Word, you could see blank document. So let's see. So this is a blank document. You can see from the label here. Now, one thing you have to know is that with Microsoft software, talking of the Microsoft Office suite, whenever you open it, you first of all land on the start screen. So this is the same as the start screen we saw with Microsoft Word. So you click to start a new um, blank workbook, or you can still start some template, same as Microsoft Word. So you can come to new and then you can search for any template here and then see if you find any. So that is it. So it's the same as Microsoft Word. Yeah, I think it is loading. And let's move on. We don't have time to wait for it. So once you open it, you have your sheet in front of you. Okay, first, let's try to identify some parts of Microsoft Excel. So we have the title bar here, and then we have the tabs with command groups, or we could say ribbon tabs. Ribbon tabs in the sense that this is a tab. All that you are seeing here are the tabs. So when you click on any particular tab, then you have access to the ribbon. So for example, if I should click on the home tab, which is this one, I'll have access to the home ribbon. And then this is active cell location. Active cell location. This is also known as name box. Name box. So is either cell address box or name box. The name box, which is this one, or active cell location, or cell address box, whichever way you like to call it, either active cell location, name box, or cell address box is the same. Now, it is used to identify the current cell or the active cell. So you see that as I click here, you see that the labels in this box keeps changing. So we have, once I click here, we have C5, E3, and all that. So that is it. It is used to identify the active cell or the selected cell. Now the boxes that I'm clicking is what we call cell, and a cell is a column where a column and a row meet. So this is a column, and then where we have the one is also a row. So you see, where they meet forms a box called the cell, forms the cell. This is the formula bar. The formula bar. This is where you type in all the formulas you need to be able to do your computations or your calculations. And then we have the column headings or the row headings. The row headings in the sense that when you pick any of the numbers here, they identify a particular row. And when you pick any of the letters here, they identify a particular column. So here in 2016, Microsoft Excel 2016, we identify the column headings as column letters, and then here as row numbers. So we use column letters in the sense that when you see B, you know that this whole column is for B, letter B. This whole column is for letter C. When you pick this one, you know that this whole row is number 1, number 2, number 3. So in that order. So let's try to look at the worksheet area. So the entire area where you are working at, the whole of this area, where we have this grid view thing, the box, the cells, that is called the work area. So this is where we call the work area. And then this is the status bar. The status bar, really giving you information about your current work. And then this is the scrolling bar. That is the horizontal scrolling bar. Horizontal scrolling bar. And then vertical scrolling bar. And then we have sheet here. So sheet, we have political science, ICT, and basic education. So now what is a sheet? A sheet is the page you are working on. So in Microsoft Word, we see this as a page, but then in Excel, it is known as a sheet. It is known as a sheet. So for example, let's open a new workbook and see. You see that once you open any new workbook, you have a sheet here. So the sheet is the first paper or the first page you are trying to work on. Now you can edit the sheet, the label here, by double clicking on it and then typing whatever you want to type. So let's say I'm trying to build a class list for political science, ICT, and basic education. I'll just have to double click here and then it will give me the chance to type a new label. So political science. And you can see that there's a button here, like additional button. When you click on it, it will give you the chance to add another sheet. So To be able to know the various sheets that I've opened, I can name this one ICT. When I'm done, I press enter. You see that the additional sign will come again, meaning new sheet. You click on it and then you double click on the label to change it. So I can say basic education. Good. So that is it. And then we have the workbook view here. Same as when we visited Microsoft Word, you could see that we had document view. So in Excel, we have workbook view. So we have normal page layout and then page break preview. So you can click to explore. And then we have the zoom here, which of course we have the zoom in and then the zoom out. So I think that is all we need to know for now. And then as we move along, we'll get to know more. But then one thing you have to be familiar with is the various commands we have here. Because if you should look at most of the commands we have here, you might have seen it in Microsoft Word before. So you see we have the clipboard box, the font box, the alignment. But then when in Microsoft Word, that is paragraph. But here we call it alignment, numbers, and all that. The whole this is called data formatting ribbon. Data formatting ribbon. Data formatting ribbon in the sense that it's used to format data. The data that we enter here in these various cells, those are called the record or values. So let's try to do some few things and then we move on. So before we start something, let's try to look at the types of cursor we have and then how it can help us to move our data around. So we call this the general select cursor. The general select cursor. So you see with this one, you can click anywhere that you want to select. You move, you drag, and then it will be selecting the entire cell within that range for you. So that is the general select cursor. And then we have what is called the fill data cursor. So let's say I type general, okay, let's say I type 1 here. And I want to fill the rest of these cells with the same data. I'll just have to click on it. And you see that once I click on it, I'm moving the cursor to the edge of the cell like this. You see that the cursor has changed to a plus sign. A plus sign. So you click on this edge here and then you drag. And as you drag, you see that it will be copying the data to the entire cells. Also, we have what is called autofill. Autofill. So supposing we want this thing, this data we filled in our cells to be in series form, like say 1, 2, 3 in a series form. The only thing we have to do is after dragging to occupy the various cells with the data, you see a box here. You see some alert here. You just have to click on this drop down arrow and you see fill series. Now I'm going to click on the fill series and just what will happen. Now you see that the data we had here, which was only 1, 1, 1, 1, has now been what? Counted in a series form. So we have 1 up to 18. Good. And that is what we use the fill for. So we can just type anything at all. So let's say January, right? Now, once I click here, once I move my cursor here, my pointer here, you see that it will change to the plus sign. And so as I drag, watch something, as I drag, it keeps changing the month. So the second cell is taking February, the next month March. So it will autofill it in such a way that it will get up to the exact month which is supposed to end the number of the month, which is December. So after December, if you should move on, you see that it will start with January again, and so that is how it works. And if you don't want it to be in that form, you can just do it like this, copy cell, and then it will just be copying, duplicating whatever you typed earlier. So that is it. So you click, you locate this small point, you drag it to autofill the number of months you want, or if it is 1, 2, 3, you can just do it that way. Or if it is something that you just want to duplicate, copy it into different cells, you just do it this way, and then it will copy it for you. Let's say you want to move information you have in a cell. If you have information in a cell and you want to move it, we have move selected cells pointer. So if you want to move a particular data to a different cell, we have what is called move selected cells pointer. So with this one, you see that we have four arrows. One is pointing at the top, right, left, and then down. So you move it to the edge of where you've selected your data, and then you drag it. You see that once I drag it, it is moving to a different cell. So once I leave it, you see that all the data will be there. So you can just do it for just a single data. So let's say name. Maybe I want to move name from this cell to this cell. So I just have to click the ending part of it and then move it here. I've moved it there. So you use the 4-arrow cursor to do that. And then again, we also have the column resize pointer. The column resize pointer. So this is a column, right? So if we say column resize pointer, that means we are going to use double-headed arrow, horizontal double-headed arrow. And that is, you see that one arrow is going to the left and then one arrow is going to the right. So when you see this one and you point it at the middle of any column, you click and then you drag, and you see that it will be expanding your text for your cell for you. Good. So if you want to increase it, you move it to the right. If you want to decrease it, you move it to the left. Good. So let's go to the row. The row 2, you see we have double vertical arrows. Double vertical arrows or double-headed vertical arrows. So let's say if you want to expand this row, you only have to click here. Once you put it at the edge, okay, in between two rows, and then you see that the cursor has changed to double-headed vertical arrows, you just have to drag to expand it or to close it. So that is how it works. Good. So the next thing is also to copy selected cells. So let's say the data we have here, we can either move it this way, like you see, as we drag to duplicate the data we have here. We can either move it this way, right, or to the top. Let's say to the top, or whichever way you want, and it will go. You just have to move it to the direction. Now let's say if you want to copy but you don't want to use it this way, you can just click and then press the control button, and see that once I move the cursor to the outline of the cell, you see that it will change. A plus sign will come closer to the mouse pointer. So once you move it, see with this one you can move it to any cell and you have it copied there. So let's say I want to copy the January to this cell. Now I'm not moving. If I'm moving, you just select it, you use the 4-headed arrow and then you move it. But this time I'm not moving it, I'm just trying to select and then copy it to a different cell. So if I want to copy it to this cell, I just have to click on the control button on the keyboard and I'll select, and as I drag, I'll be locating the cell I want to copy. So once I leave my hand from the touchpad or from the mouse, it will copy it there. Okay, so if you want to also select an entire column, we use the down arrow pointer or down arrow cursor. So you see, you click on it, you see that once I move my cursor here, it will change to black. So I'll click on this and the whole thing will be selected. So I use the right arrow cursor to select the row, the entire row. You see that when I selected everything here is selected. If I should move the scrolling bar forward, you see that everything there is selected. See, that is the entire row. Good. And if I should click like this here on the letter, you see that everything we have in that column is selected. So that is for the various cases we are going to use to help us understand what we are doing. Let's look at how to enter a data in a cell. If you want to enter a data in a cell, you just have to click in that particular cell and then you just start typing. So let's say Vera. I just click there and I type. So let's say here we have course rep. So wherever you click, then you type. Now mind you, if I want to edit this name to, let's say, Vida, if I click, I select the cell and I start typing, it will clear everything. So let's say I want to type, I'm typing like come, but in fact I'm supposed to type came. Once you click on it like this and you start typing, watch this, you see that everything will clear and then something new will replace it. But so what if we only wanted to change the O? We can come to the address bar. This is the address bar. So you select the particular cell you want to edit. You select it like this. Now, instead of you clicking there to type, you don't type there. You come and click in the address bar, and then you select where you want to edit. So I want to change the O, so I just click here, and I make it A. I'm done. These are the few mistakes that most students do. So it is better I try to hit you on that. And another thing is, let's say I'm trying to type something like expenditure. You see that with this one, it has overlapped this cell. You see, we have a cell here and there is a cell here. But then once I start to type here, you see that the G will vanish. So sales. So you see that now the letter E is vanished. So how do you get it back? You only have to locate the particular cell, the edge of the particular cell, or the column where that cell is located. So this is it, because the problem we are having now is at the edge of this very column. So you just have to come here and you see that your cursor will change to what? Double-headed vertical arrows. So you just have to double click here and then you see it will expand automatically to expand the cell to make the text fit in very well. Okay, so let's say another one, new monthly bill. With this, yes, it is visible for us to see. So we are seeing new monthly bill. But what happens if we have to type another thing here? See, once we start to type another thing here, the whole text we had in this particular cell has been truncated. It has been cut short. So to get it back, you just have to double click here. So you double click the space or the edge between the two various columns and then you have everything appearing. But then let's say we want to select all these text. We have a whole lot of text here and we want to select. You just use the general select cursor and then you drag on it and then you select it. Now we want to delete the data we have here. With Excel, when you select a text like this, just a single cell, a text in a single cell, and you press the backspace bar, the backspace, it will clear it. But what if you have two cells selected? When you press the backspace, it will only clear the first cell. So mostly what we do is, once you select the cell, you just have to use the delete key on the keyboard. Delete key on the keyboard. Then everything will go. So I think these are the basics we need in order to understand and then to do this course. So let's try to start something. Let's try to do something. Let's try to take a project and then we use the project to understand whatever we want to learn.